So, James, the first question is tell the launch control community a little bit about yourself.
Basically, I own a land investment company and we buy and sell land throughout the United States. We focus more on rural land, kind of more outside of the cities. You're looking for somebody that, wants some larger acreage and kind of wants to have some privacy and basically have their own land, but still, within close proximity to a city that they can get, the services and whatnot within half hour to an hour.
Okay. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. With us in general. The second question would be, how long have you been using launch control and what led you to us?
I've been using launch control for probably a month and a half. What led me to launch control was I used to do a lot of direct mail, and I just kind of noticed the results weren't what they used to be. So I started doing some research, looking at some different ways to get leads in, and another land investor that I know or I follow, she recommended launch control, so I checked it out.
What's her name? Is it Callan?
It's Callan.
Okay.
And kind of, started doing it from what she talked about, and that's what got me into it.
And what impact would you say that the launch control had on your business in this month and a half that you've been with us?
Oh, it's as far as the leads, it's really been remarkable. Direct mail, we'd have to send out sometimes 3,000 to 5,000 letters to get one deal. I think last month I was ranging to getting a deal under contract, maybe like for every 1,500 texts, I'd get a property under contract. And it's much more cost effective than direct mail as well. So that's quite a difference.
Okay.
5,000 to 1,500.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, having said that you did close some deals with launch control, could you walk us through a recent deal? If you could just kind of break it down.
Yeah. So, in terms of how we go about going about everything, or
just a recent deal on basically what it took you to close that deal. Just kind of some high points that allowed you to get to that.
Yeah. So, typically we focus on a county, and once we identify that county and acreage range, I'll have my VAs. They pretty much send out the texts, asking the potential sellers if they're interested in a price for their land, and if they do show interest, then we actually give them an offer right away on their land to kind of see if they're interested or not. And then once that happens, that lead will go to our acquisitions manager, and she actually will call the people on the phone and then work out a deal. So like I said, last month, I think we brought in about 13 to 15 deals doing it that way.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll love to hear it. And basically, so now that we were talking about the deals and what your acquisition specialists and people running your account do, so could you elaborate a little bit on the follow-up effort?
Yeah. So as far as follow-up, obviously my VAs are doing the follow-up in the texting, and then the acquisition manager, within 24 hours, she's following up directly with the sellers via text or phone or however they'll accept communication to get the deal done. That's how we're following up. And then the people that don't respond, we typically do a follow-up campaign 30 days later, And we'll try to get with them again.
Yeah, to re-engage to see if there is there is a chance for them to respond again.
Right.
But then again, even if they don't respond, you're going to see them again in 30 days in the same follow-up campaigns.
Exactly. And then, you know, I think we've also gotten a few deals from that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, when you think about it, having to wait 30 days is something like the long-term drip automation where they're not interested. Like, so if they're not interested, you're not going to hit them up after 5 days because
Right.
most likely they're not going to change their mind. So that is like the average, like the 30 days, a month and a half is the perfect time span before you can send another message with the higher chance that they might change their mind and are willing to actually sell their property.
Correct.
Land. All right. So, by the way, any launch control or general investing hacks that you would like to share with the community? I mean, of course, if you have any secret spices in there that actually work the magic and get you a deal faster than everybody else, you don't have to share that. But any tips, any tricks, any hacks that you would like to share?
I just like to, and obviously I'm dealing with land, so it's a lot easier for me to give somebody a price or a price range with houses. But I think, you know, I think that's the benefit we have is that I'll send an initial message to start the conversation via text. And then almost, you know, in that conversation, we are giving them a price for their land. So what that does, it brings out all the objections, you know, no, I don't want to, I won't sell it for that. Well, if you want, what will you sell it for? Or they'll say, yeah, that sounds good. And then we can move forward. Or some people just want a crazy price that you can't work with them. But you still follow up with them anyway.
Yeah, true.
I think that helps us as far as, you know, smoking out the deals, getting the yeses and the nos, and, you know, kind of finding out where people are at.
True, true. I agree 100%. Well, if you ask me, for example, when a prospect responds with like 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, in my opinion, I would take it as if the prospect said no. Because when you think about it, if like, for example, if we're talking about land, if the acreage, if it's worth like 200K, for example, and then the prospect says 5 million, and then the second time you ask him, it's going to be 25 million.
Yeah.
So instead of just simply saying no, the prospect gave you a ballpark to see if it might pass, already knowing that it's just a ridiculous price.
Right.
So same approach in that way. Like that prospect could have said no. That prospect's life, the situation can change where it will lead him to actually having to sell that property or land. So we can joke all around, but then again, we all come to a certain situation where we do things that we have to do.
And that's what you're looking for.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree 100%. Well, James, in that case, any last words of wisdom before we let you go?
No, that's it. You know, it's consistency, you know, being consistent. That's another thing. You got to continue to, you know, send out your marketing to get leads. You know, you don't want to just do it for a week and then not do it for 3 weeks. Then it's going to mess up your deal flow. So definitely you got to have consistency when you're doing this.